Hey guys, yesterday I went out and got myself a Canon G7x Mark II. I've already opened the box up, I'm filming on it now. I'm going to Melbourne this morning. We'll go out and take some pictures, play with the time-lapse mode, practice with the autofocus of facial recognition. Let's see what happens. Hey guys, so we're in Melbourne currently. I'm here testing out the G7x Mark II, and so far I'm really happy with how it's turned up. The best thing obviously is the facial auto detection / autofocus, which to me is awesome because I feel much less restricted in my videos now. Instead of just sitting in a video, sitting up straight and trying not to move my head, I find myself I'm able to move a lot more left and right and every which direction, which is great because now I can not worry about how my video looks and if it's in focus, and just worry about my actual video and what I'm talking about, which can sometimes be distracting. So I've been walking around the Docklands area. This is just where I'm sitting currently, just right in front of Etihad Stadium. There's lots of noises going on, and helicopters and boats and birds, which is great. But yeah, just walking around doing a few time lapses, testing out a few of the features of the camera, and playing around with this facial auto detection, which is really good so far. So yeah, enjoy the video. So the good thing about the G7x Mark II is that it adds flexibility to my gear. I have at least 3 different options for filming now, and I'll probably be using this one for most of my my YouTube stuff or any other videos I do like this. But it just means that I don't have to muck around with the 5D3 now in regards to sitting in one spot when I'm talking to the camera and hoping that I'm in focus, and sitting very stiff and still and hoping that if I don't move too much I might stay in focus, which is very distracting when it comes to making a video. Sometimes I'll be sitting there talking and I move sort of, and subconsciously my mind says, oh now you're out of frame and it's not going to be in focus, and there's the video. Which is definitely distracting, because when you're trying to talk about specific subjects and keep a train of thought, and you can't do that because you're worrying too much about if you're in focus or not, yeah, it is very distracting. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, me and my partner Emily are planning to go to Japan in November, and the impetus for getting this camera was probably our trip to Japan. This is something that Emily will be using while we're on that trip, considering how easy it is to actually record video and take pictures and not take up space in a backpack or just in one's hand. And I think that's what makes a camera like this so special, and why cameras like this have been so popular recently, is because it has great video, can take good pictures still, has face recognition, so it's popular for vloggers and people who do videos sort of like this, and it's small and compact. Like the title of it states, it's a compact camera, and it's designed to take up as minimal space as possible and still do the best job possible in regards to DSLR-like qualities, which I think is great. And I'm very excited to be using this, and hopefully we'll be able to broaden my horizons in regards to the type of videos that I can make now. Instead of just sitting in one spot and not moving, I can now go out to Melbourne and do like little walk-arounds and take time lapses, which is easy to do now with the time lapse function of this camera. But the ease of use and efficiency of this camera will allow me to take my video game or style to the level that I wanted it to be when I started. And I was a bit limited with my 5D3. I had planned to get a separate little screen that I could connect to the top of the camera and connect up with some cables so I could flip it around and see what was happening in the frame. But a good one of those was like $400, $500, and I'd been looking at the G7x for a while and some of the Sony and Panasonic variants of compact cameras, and I just thought, why don't we just get a flip screen with the camera attached to it, which is technically what the G7x is, because it actually does better video than the 5D3 in regards to autofocus and the quality of the video. In the end, we came to that decision, me and Emily, that we'd get this camera together and we'd use it on our trips together, and I'd use it mostly for my video. She'd use it for taking photos of her artwork if she ever needed to, or do any videos she needed to. And I think it just fit both of what we needed it for, which was good. So this was my first little experience with the camera. Got walking around in Melbourne, doing a couple of time lapses and taking some pictures here and there. I hopefully will have talked a little bit more about the technical aspects of the camera a little bit before what you're watching right now. Early stages, I'm really happy with how this camera's performed in its first day and a half of me owning it, and I'm really looking forward to using it in the future and hopefully broadening my skills and the techniques I use in the videos I make. So the work that I'll be doing with this camera, the reason why we got it was so that I could do these types of videos and have the flexibility of being able to do a time lapse, being able to hold my 5D3, and then if I need to do a time lapse quickly while I'm doing a job or doing a photo over there, I can grab the G7x out of my pocket, set it up, do a quick time lapse, make it easy for me to do multiple threads of work at the same time. Obviously that's one of the main reasons why we got this camera, because just the ease of use and the efficiency in which you're able to do multiple jobs, multiple shoots and different things at once is really beneficial to videos like this. Videos like we'll probably be making when we're in Japan or overseas. Obviously we'll be doing a lot of filming when we're over there, but I think we'll find out at the time just how useful it will actually be, just by having this little pocket-sized camera readily available and easily accessible, which is great, because I think it's going to help us a lot in regards to how much footage we'll actually get on a day or in a period of time, especially when there's 2 or 3 different cameras going. And yeah, it's just the ease of use and the efficiency of this camera is the major selling point for us. Just in regards to some technical aspects of the camera, the ability to take JPEG and RAW images obviously comes pretty standard with most cameras now, but just that added flexibility of being able to choose between the two is great. As an example, some of the pictures I took in Melbourne in this video were just JPEG straight out of the camera, which I've posted on some of my social medias. It's perfect for that example when you're just talking about how the JPEGs might look and you just need a quick image that can be uploaded somewhere quickly or passed to someone in a short period of time. And obviously the RAW files you can take back to the computer at home, edit a bit more thoroughly, and just use them to get a more flexible and professional edit. The zoom length on the camera is about 24 to 105mm, which I think is pretty flexible. There's a reasonably wide field of view there, so 24, you're not the widest, but you can still get you know, a nice amount of landscape or scenery inside a frame, and especially with the lens being down at 2.8, you can get some astro stuff as well with that pretty nice f-stop 2.8. And then obviously the zoom of 105 isn't super long, but you can still get some nice photos from standing a fair distance away from your subject, and being able to zoom in helps a lot with that. So the ISO is pretty flexible, 125 to 25,800. That should cover most types of lighting in any given scenario. And I have noticed, just taking some photos around in my house in a darker room, it seems to be coping very well with grain. With bumping the ISO up a little bit, it doesn't seem to, I don't know, register the grain as much, which is good because it seems like all the pictures I've taken so far have been pretty crisp and clear, and nothing really has gotten in the way, even if the settings aren't all bouncing off each other that great, which is good, because you want the camera to be sorting out a lot of the technical problems for you instead of you having to get every setting exactly right for every shot, which you should be doing anyway, but it's good if the camera just helps you out a little bit in that regard. So the top dial on the right hand side has a lot of different presets. Obviously you've got your manual mode, your video mode, but there's also a custom mode. So that's just another way that the camera is flexible and allows you to make different decisions. Depending on whatever subject or scene is in front of you at the time, you can just make that quick turn, quick switch, and change your settings from there. And just under that top dial as well is the exposure dial, which is good if you need to make like a pretty immediate change to the exposure level. So if I'm feeling I'm too bright or too dark, I can just change it from here, and it's able to adjust the exposure from there, and which is good because sometimes you're not afforded the time to be able to press up the screen, and you just need to make that quick little change, maybe 1 or 2 stops, and very quick and easy. Obviously the camera has a flash on it as well, which is just activated by pressing a little button on the left hand side of the camera. That just pops up, it's a little spring-loaded flash, and I haven't really had a chance to use that yet, but I'm sure if you're in the situation that you needed a flash, just having one on the camera built in would be better than trying to mount one or have a mount on there to put one on. So just another reason why this camera is proving so far that it's very flexible for a lot of different types of uses. Another great option is that it has built-in Wi-Fi, so you can connect this to your smartphone or your computer or even a printer, which is great if you need to send something quickly to your phone. You don't have the time to take the SD card out, put it in your phone or your computer and transfer the photos over. It's just another option for users to be able to be flexible with the camera and feel like they have control over different ways of doing the same job. So in this aspect it might be more appropriate for me to take the SD card out of the camera and put it in the computer to get this video, but I might find myself in a situation one day where I don't have that time and need to just connect to my phone quickly, shoot some JPEGs over to my phone and then email them or send them to someone, which is good because it just, again, adds that flexibility. The microphone so far seems like it's picking up my voice fairly well and tends to not capture a lot of background noise, although some of the noises in Melbourne yesterday, helicopters and boats and birds and stuff, they seem, I mean, you could obviously hear them in the background, but if I'm talking to the camera, it's pointing at me, I feel like it prioritizes that, the most powerful sound it can hear, and it tends to dull out a bit of that background noise. So that seems to be proving good so far. The camera also does have a lot of custom film types, I guess, and effects within the camera itself. There's a lot of different preset settings you can implement into the camera, like a fireworks mode, a night mode, a starry mode. You can put like a toy effect on it, or an underwater effect, or you can put like a fisheye effect on it, which you might not necessarily use them all the time, but they're good. They might fit a specific situation that you feel don't want to take just the standard photo with the manual settings, so I'll just chuck it in this mode and see if that can do most of the work for me. So otherwise it just comes with a standard SD card, which is standard. You can chuck that in and out of pretty much any camera or computer or electronic device nowadays, so that's good. That's good, yeah, that is good. And the battery seems like it would, so far it's lasted me the trip to Melbourne and this next day, and I haven't seen any flashing lights or saying the battery's low, so I'll push the battery to the limit the first charge that I've used with it, but it seems like it's doing pretty well so far. That's pretty much all the main settings for the camera that I feel necessary to talk about. I'm sure I'll be practicing with this camera heaps over the coming weeks and trying to get to use all the different types of settings and techniques and effects this camera has to offer. I'm very much looking forward to using it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Just talking a little bit about the Canon G7x Mark II and the ways I'll be using it and how I'll be using it in the future. Hopefully that means I'll be putting up a few more videos now in quicker succession, now that it's much easier for me to make them. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys soon, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.